students, welcome to English class. Today I am going to begin with the explanation of the 6th chapter of your supplementary reader, that is Footprints Without Feet, and the name of the chapter is The Making of a Scientist, written by Robert W. Peterson. So for the author, I'll give you a brief introduction of this great author who wrote the story, The Making of a Scientist, which is actually the story of a great scientist named Richard H. E. Bright. So before beginning with the explanation, I would first like to give you the brief introduction of this author, Robert W. Peterson. Robert W. Peterson was an American newspaper writer who became a freelance author of magazine articles and books, especially on the topics of sports and scouting. His 1970 Chronicle of Negro League Baseball titled Only the Ball Was White has hailed by the New York Times as having recaptured a lost era in baseball history and a rich facet of black life in America. The baseball commissioner at the time, Bowie Kuhn, later credited Peterson's book with having focused greater attention on the accomplishments of Negro League players, leading to their admission to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So for this author, we can say that he was a famous American newspaper writer who later became a freelance author of magazine articles, and he wrote with authority, particularly on the topics of sports and scouting. And he was born in 1925 in Pennsylvania in the USA and died of lung cancer on February 11, 2006. So this was about the author. Now let's discuss the theme of this chapter and the main message or the central idea of this lesson. So for the theme of the story, this story, The Making of a Scientist, is a story of the great scientist named Richard H. E. Bright. And it is an interesting study of how E. Bright became a scientist. After the early death of his father, E. Bright was everything for his mother, and he used to get top grades in school. That means since childhood he was a very bright student. He was very good, he was very intelligent, and at a very early age, when he was just in the second standard, he had already collected 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. And his book, The Travels of Monarch 10, gave him a thorough knowledge about the monarch butterflies, which is one of the species of butterflies. In the second year of his high school, E. Bright began to search an unknown hormone in the gold spots of butterflies. And in the later years, he discovered how a cell could read the blueprint of its DNA. So this was the theme of the chapter. Now I'll give you a short introduction of the lesson which is given in the beginning of the chapter, saying that Richard E. Bright has received the Searle Scholar Award and the Skering-Plough Award for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. It was his fascination for butterflies that opened the world of science to him. So we can say that this story is about the great scientist named Richard H. E. Bright, who grew up in the town of Reading in Pennsylvania, USA. And as he did not have much to do there, collecting things was his hobby. And he used to collect butterflies as a child in kindergarten, that is in the nursery class, when he was too small. So now let's read how This curious child who collected butterflies went on to become one of the greatest scientists of the world. So now let's begin with the explanation of the chapter along with the word meanings. So the chapter begins like this. At the age of 22, a former scout of the year excited the scientist world with a new theory on how cells work. Richard H. E. Bright and his college roommate explained the theory in an article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It was the first time this important scientist journal had ever published the work of college students in sports that would be like making a big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run for your first time at bat. For Richard E. Bright, it was the first in the long string of achievements in science and other fields, and it all started with butterflies. An only child, E. Bright grew up north of Reading, Pennsylvania. There wasn't much I could do there, he said. I certainly couldn't play football or baseball with a team of one, but there was one thing I could do: collect things. So he did, and did he ever? Beginning in kindergarten, E. Bright collected butterflies with same determination that has marked all his activities. He also collected rocks, fossils, and coins. He became an eager astronomer who sometimes stargazing all night. So now let's see to the meaning of all the hard words in this paragraph. The word former means having previously been a particular thing. Scout means a member of the Scout Association or similar organization. Proceedings means a published report of a setting of meetings or a conference. Journal means a newspaper or magazine that deals with a particular subject or professional activity. Making the big leagues means in the field of tough competition and high rewards, the largest or foremost of his kind. For example, winning an Oscar put the actress in the big league. The word fossil means the remains or impression of a prehistoric plant or animal embedded in rocks. An astronomer is an expert in or student of astronomy. And cells is the smallest unit of the living organism, or we can say the microscopic unit of living matter. So now let's begin with the explanation. So this paragraph says that Richard H. E. Bright, along with his roommate, surprised the world at the young age of 22 when they explained the theory on how cells work in a paper published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science, which is the most famous journal. And this valuable magazine had published the work of college students for the first time. For Richard E. Bright, it was one of the many achievements that he achieved later in his life. He says that all this curiosity started with butterflies. E. Bright grew up in Pennsylvania and was the only child of his parents, as he lost his father at a very small age, and he could have not done much there as there were very less people living in that place. And he says that he could only do one thing alone, and that was collecting things, as he had no friends to play football or baseball with. He had begun collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, and coins from the first time when he was in nursery or kindergarten. He also used to keep on staring at the stars and sometimes the whole night as he was interested in studying astronomy. So we can say that the publishing of his article on the theory of how cells work was a great achievement for this young scientist, and it was like great achievement or hitting or winning the highest award in the world in the field of competition, or you can say in a field of tough competitions. This was a great achievement that he made, and it was like hitting the home run in the baseball. So home run is like hitting a six in cricket. So home run is hitting the six in the baseball, because baseball and cricket is the same kind of a sport in which the player plays with a bat and a ball. There is a slight difference between the two. So now the second paragraph says that from the first he had a driving curiosity along with a bright mind. He also had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning. She took him on trips, bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials, and other equipments, and helped him in many other ways. I was his only companion until he started school, his mother said. After that, I would bring home friends for him, but at night we just did things together. Richie was my whole life after his father died when Richie was in third grade. She and her son spent almost every evening at the dining room table. If he didn't have things to do, I found work for him. Not physical work, but learning things, his mother said. He liked it. He wanted to learn, and learn he did. He earned top grades in school on everyday things. He was just like every other kid, his mother said. By the time he was in the second grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. That probably would have been the end of my butterfly collecting, he said. But then my mother got me a children's book called The Travels of Monarch 10. That book, which told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America, opened the world of science to the eager young collector. So now let's see to the meaning of all the hard words in these paragraphs. The word curiosity means a strong desire to know or learn something. And encourage means to give support, confidence or hope to someone. Equipments means the necessary item for a particular purpose. Species, a group of living organisms consisting of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes or interbreeding. Monarch butterflies are the large migratory orange and black colored butterflies that occurs mainly in North America. And collector is a person who collects things of a specified type professionally or as a hobby. So in all these lines, the narrator says that E. Bright had always been curious to learn new things and had a very sharp mind. And his mother used to encourage him to learn new things by taking him on learning trips, and she used to buy him telescopes and other instruments that would help him in learning new things. His mother was his only friend until he went to school. And after he started going to school, his mother would get his friends home. He and his mother used to stay together at night, and they used to do and learn things together. And Ebright, who was nicknamed Richie by his mother, was her whole life and support system after his father died when he was in third grade. They used to spend most of the evenings together, If he did not have anything to do, his mother would find him some task for learning. He used to like the learning work that his mother used to give him, as that was what he wanted to do. Learn about more and more new things. So, this shows his curiosity for knowing new things, or to know about the new things, or to discover the new things present in this universe. And he was a bright student, as he used to score good score in class, and also he was very much regular in his daily tasks. By the time he was in second class, he had collected all the 25 species of butterflies that were found in his neighborhood. So since he was too small when he was studying in nursery, since then he started collecting various species of butterflies, and he thought that it would have been the end of his butterfly collection when he was in the second class, if his mother would not have got him a children's book called The Travels of Monarch 10. And I told you that what is a monarch? It is one of the species of butterflies, and this book told how the monarch butterflies migrated to Central America, which was the turning point for Ebright, as it turned his curiosity towards science. Further, the next paragraph says, at the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Ebright's mother wrote to Dr. Urquhart, and soon Ebright was attaching light adhesive tags to the wings of monarchs. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart. The butterfly collecting season around reading lasts 6 weeks in late summer. If you are going to chase them one by one, you won't catch very many. So the next step for Ebright was to raise a flock of butterflies. Flock is the group of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch, take her eggs, and raise them in his basement through their life cycle, from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. Then he would tag the butterflies' wings and let them go. For several years, his basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. And eventually, I began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. It's tedious and there's not much feedback, Ebright said. In all the time I did it, he laughed. Only 2 butterflies I had tagged were recaptured, and they were not more than 75 miles from where I lived. So in all these lines, the word migrations means seasonal movement of animals from one region to another. And adhesive is able to stick fast to a surface or object, that is sticky. Flock means a number of birds of one kind feeding, resting, or traveling together. Life cycle, it is a series of change in the life of an organism, including reproduction. And tedious is too long, slow, or dull, or you can say tiresome or monotonous. So in these lines, the narrator says that at the end of the children's book that his mother had got him, the readers of the book were invited to help the study of butterfly migrations, and they were asked to tag butterflies by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto in Canada. And Richie's mother, Richie is this nickname of Richard Ebright. Richie's mother wrote to the doctor, and soon he was attaching adhesive tags to the wings of the butterflies. And the person who would find a butterfly with a tag was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart. The butterfly collecting season lasted only for around 6 weeks, and then Ebright understood that if he kept on collecting butterflies one by one, then he would not be able to collect many butterflies. So the next step that he took was that he decided to raise a flock of butterflies in his basement. Basement is what? It is a storeroom kind of a thing, basement, which is underground. And then he used to catch a female butterfly and collect its eggs and raise them in his basement through their proper life cycles. And the life cycle of the butterfly you must have read in your science. So then he used to tag the wings of the butterflies and would let them go. And there were thousands of monarchs in his basement, growing in different life stages for many years. Soon he started losing interest in tagging butterflies, as it was a very slow and tiring process, and it also did not get him much response. He said that out of the many butterflies that he tagged, only 2 could be recaptured by people, and those 2 were not more than 75 miles away from where he lived. So in all the paragraphs that we have read, we can see that Richard E. Bright was a multifaceted and versatile personality, and he was not only a man with scientific mind, but also had a penchant for sports or interest in sports and other co-curricular activities such as debates, declamation, etc. And his mother always encouraged him to take interest in collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, coins, astronomy, photography, mountaineering, etc. And since his childhood, he earned top grades in school. So we can say that since the beginning, or since he was too small, he started showing his brilliance, and he always used to stand first in class. At the age of 7, he started participating in science fairs, and science attracted him the most. And he did many experiments that we are going to see. Further, what he did and what recognition he got after that. And he did many experiments such as finding out why the viceroy's butterflies resembled monarch butterflies, and discovery of an unknown insect hormone growing cells from a monarch wings, and discovering the chemical structure of hormone and the role of DNA. So this is what we are going to read further. And we had read that once he had lost his interest in tagging butterflies with the help of one of the other great scientist and teacher, Dr. Oeckert, he wrote to him about his ideas, and back came many suggestions for experiments, and these kept E. Bright busy all through high school, and these also led him to prize projects in country and international fairs. Once he had lost in the interest in collecting butterflies, but soon he regained it. And the reason why he lost his interest in tagging butterflies was that it was a very tedious task, and he started collecting the various species of monarch butterflies in his basement, and it is a very long process, and he tried hard to catch the tag butterflies for knowing more about them, but he could not do that. And in all the time, only 2 butterflies that he had tagged were caught. So now in the next class we are going to read further what happens and what discoveries he made and what theory he gave to the world. So this is all for this class. Thank you and goodbye.